Hey Waffle Gang, I do hope you are well. My name is Mark and today we're checking out some more relationship stories, and if you do love a Reddit story, why not consider hitting that like, subscribe, maybe that notification bell too. Let's crack on with today's first story, which comes from Am I the Arsehole Wedding Lashes, and says, am I the arsehole for not paying for my friend's eyelash extensions for her wedding? Obligatory throwaway account. My 26 female best friend, 25 female, I call her Callie, is getting married in a week, and I'm one of her bridesmaids, while our other best friend, 26 female, I call her Sam, is the maid of honor. They are my best friends and have been through literally everything in my life with me. I can't say Callie has been a bridezilla by any means, but she does have a very specific look in mind for her special day. I was told I needed to strip all of the color out of my hair. It was blue and is now a chestnut brown, and I had to get new foundation to cover my tattoos as well as shapewear. I did all of this because it's her day. It's not hard to re-dye my hair after or put foundation on my tattoos. The actual problem happened yesterday. Callie made an appointment for her, Sam and I to get eyelash extensions because it will make the day easier. Less makeup to worry about, and we all suck at putting on falsies. Callie had asked all of the bridal party if we wanted to go, and only Sam and I said yes. Put it frankly, all of Callie's savings and money is going to the wedding, so she is currently low on funds to an extent, and Sam has never exactly been good at saving money. Meanwhile, I'm decent enough that I have some savings set aside, and a low budget specifically for this wedding. I figured Callie had put aside money for these extensions, and didn't think about it past my money. As we were checking out with our lash girl, I paid for mine and Sam paid for hers, but Callie just stood there looking at me. I asked her what was up, and she just said, waiting for me. I asked her what she meant, and that we should hurry because we had a lunch to get to. She said she couldn't pay for her lashes and that she thought I knew I would be paying for them. I said that I was not aware, and I should have been told beforehand because I couldn't tell sets of $200 lashes. She said she assumed I would just know because of how much money had already gone into the wedding, and Sam obviously couldn't pay for it. I said I would not be doing that because I simply could not afford it. If this had taken place before next week, it would have been more likely, but I can't now. She started raising her voice and dug out her wallet and paid with her credit card. Sam pulled me aside and said that it was shitty of me to do, not pay, and I knew what this wedding meant to Callie. I said if it meant that much, why didn't Sam just pay then? I was told by both of them that maybe it was best if I just didn't go to lunch, and that they would talk to me in a couple of days. I know that this wedding means a lot to Callie. She has always wanted to be married, but I don't think it's fair of her to assume I would pay for extensions just because she stretched her budget thin. However, if I'm in the wrong, I will find a way to make up for this. Pay her back or something. So Reddit, am I the arsehole? Now you said at the start of this post, this is your best friend. I can honestly say, best friends don't treat you like this. And you went over and beyond, changing your appearance for her special day. You said she hasn't been a bridezilla, but holy shit. I would have been checking out that wedding when she tried to cover up your tattoos with foundation and shapewear as well. And in all honesty, and it might be wrong, it just feels like you're being, the way the story read, that you're being used for money here. You were unaware about them expecting you to pay for these lashes, and like you said, Sam obviously couldn't pay for it, and then has the bloody cheek to pull you to the side and said it was a shitty thing for you to do. Cheeky bastard. And I guarantee if you went to that lunch, which you was disinvited from, that you would be expected to have paid for that as well. Absolutely not the arsehole in this situation. But a piece of 8 says, not the arsehole. No one informed you about it in advance, and even if they had, it's not on you to pay for the bride's hair and makeup type things. Traditionally, the bride pays for that sort of thing for the bridesmaids. Not your fault she's spending more than she'd like. Space Jesus is here. Name. Not the arsehole. People who demand you change your appearance and who feel entitled to your money, especially without discussion, aren't your friends. Friends respect each other. Want proof she's not your friend? Tell your friend that you will not be paying any more money than has already been agreed upon. No more. Then see if she says, okay, just glad to have you there on my special day. You already spent so much. Or will she say, "You're ruining my special day," and lay on a guilt trip about how you are a bad friend? OP says, "I didn't mind changing my hair. It's just hair in my opinion, and I already have an appointment set up for October to get it redone and my tattoos. It's just foundation. But this just seems ridiculous to me, and for Sam to also think it's fine." And Cold View says, "Not the arsehole. Clearly Callie is overwhelmed and embarrassed by the reality of her own poor planning and budget constraints. Honestly, OP, it sounds like Callie and Sam are pretty comfortable with you paying to cover their budgetary gaps. Wouldn't be surprised if they habitually discuss your finances and share resentment of their lack thereof. Would also assume there may be more hidden expenses they are relying on you to pay for before this wedding. You should speak to them both candidly about any other expectations they have regarding payments and gifts for the wedding and prep. It's easy for people who are financially and emotionally immature to take advantage of a friend who is better off than them if you don't set clear and vocal boundaries. I've had hard discussions with friends about what I was willing to bring to our relationship. Love, friendship, emotional support, time commitment, what I was not willing to bring. Money, my personal property. I think the larger concern should be the physical changes Callie has asked you to make. It's always a red flag when bridesmaids demand her friends physically conform or micromanages every aspect of your appearance. And insulting. A friend should find you beautiful as you are and enjoy your presence on their special day without a checklist to physical modifications to match an image. This kinda seems like Callie is compensating for some other areas of insecurity that she can't or won't control. Just get through the wedding with your own finances locked down. Then take some time to consider what you invest in this relationship and what you receive in return. It's okay to outgrow relationships and let people go when you are no longer on the same wavelength. Good luck, and hopefully you can get back to rocking fun hair colors and awesome tats. OP says, "Not like I make a lot more than them. In fact, I make less than both of them. Sam just has a habit of buying anything and everything that she wants and needs, without thinking about how much money she actually has. And Callie had a decent budget for this whole thing. I don't know what happened. I don't want to believe that they're using me for my money during all this, but all these comments are definitely making me question some stuff. As for the physical changes, I can understand a lot of it. I'm the one with tattoos in the party, and they're fairly big and a lot of color, and my hair is just hair." So OP does update the post and said, "Hi all. First, I want to say thank you to everyone who commented on my original post and got me to finally open my eyes to how my friends have been treating me. I took a couple of days after posting to think about how I wanted to proceed, and I took a chance and texted Callie and Sam asking if we could meet up. They agreed and we went to a coffee shop. As soon as I got there, they were both there and were whispering about something, and as soon as they saw me, they stopped. In that moment, I realized that's how they've always been. I joined at the hip, whispering together and stopping when I walk in, never taking me seriously. And it was like a switch flipped in that moment. I stopped caring. After getting my coffee, I sat down and we kind of just stared at each other before I finally asked if either of them felt bad about how they treated me. They both seemed surprised and asked how I got to that conclusion. I said that I had time to think it over, and while I felt bad that Callie had been having to dip into her emergency fund, that was not my fault nor my problem. If anyone's, it was Sam's because she was maid of honor. I said I had been more than accommodating, changing my hair, getting specific foundation to cover my tattoos, getting shapewear when it makes me uncomfortable. All of it to make her day amazing. They tried to interject, but I just shook my head. I told them they'd been my best friends for a very long time, but probably too long. I went on to list a bunch of times they made me feel like shit, which I won't bother you with here, but I ended by saying I wouldn't be attending the wedding in any capacity. And Callie could pick up the shoes, the dress, the shapewear, and the foundation from my mum's house because I was done. They started panicking and tried apologizing, but I just got up and asked them to please not talk to me for the foreseeable future, and left. They both tried to call and text me for days afterwards, but I ignored it. I also got a bunch of texts from the other bridesmaids who clearly had not been told the full story, and texted all 4 of the others with the full story. I didn't hear anything back, but got a bunch of calls and voicemails from Callie. Let's just say they were not nice. I finally texted her and told her attitude towards all this just proved my point, and that I didn't think we could be friends anymore. I guess the wedding went on as planned, which I guess I'm glad for. And to everyone who was upset about me changing my hair, I'm happy to inform you it's now neon pink. I think that's it. I'll be moving states with my boyfriend in about a month, I'll be cutting contact with Sam as well, so I don't expect anything else will come of any of this. Thank you to every single one of you, and I hope the update is what most of you wanted. It's definitely not what I expected, but it is what I think needed to happen. Yep, and I totally agree with OP in the end there. I think that needed to happen. And like I always say, I know that's very easy for me to say. I'm looking in on your life, and you're having to deal with these friendships and tackle it. So well done to you for realizing your worth and the way that you were being treated there. I can imagine that wasn't easy to face. But now I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? How would you have dealt with it if it was you? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below, and let's move on to another story. And before we do get into the next story, I just want to give you a warning in case you would like to skip the story. It does contain homophobia, so as always, timestamps are always down in the description and along the timeline below. Thank you. And it's from Well Hi There 9091, does come with an update, and is titled, Am I the arsehole for bringing my boyfriend on a family visit and making my brother-in-law uncomfortable? My 24 male brother, 27 male, sister, 37 female, and I thought it would be nice if we all organised a little trip to go visit our mum, as it's been a bit since we've all seen her. My sister brought her husband, 38 male, and 2 kids, and I brought my boyfriend, 24 male. I thought it would be okay since my mum adores him and vice versa. I even asked my mum if I could bring him and she was fine with it. However, last night after everyone else went to bed, I was hanging out on the porch shooting the shit with my brother-in-law. We were just chatting, but after a while he mentioned how he thought it was inappropriate that I brought my boyfriend along. I asked why he thought that, and he said it made him uncomfortable to have a non-family member at a family visit. For context, I've been with my boyfriend for 3 years. He's not a random fling. I told my brother-in-law that I didn't think it was a big deal, and that as long as I wasn't fucking him on the kitchen table during family dinners, there wasn't any reason for him not to be there. Brother-in-law got pretty pissed at that, and to be honest, I feel like I may have gone out of line. He said again that I shouldn't have brought my boyfriend, and got up and went inside. I feel pretty shitty. I know this isn't about him being a non-family member. It's about him being, well, a him. I understand that a lot of people have issues with gay couples, and I don't want to cause issues or have my brother-in-law think that I'm forcing my relationship into his face. Also, I feel that table fucking comment may have been pretty unhinged. I just don't know what to do. For one, I don't want to cause unnecessary strain on my relationship with my brother-in-law, but at the same time, I want my boyfriend to be comfortable, and I don't want to get him involved in anything or make him feel bad for being here. I think I could have avoided this whole thing by just leaving him at home. So, am I the arsehole for bringing my boyfriend along on a family visit? So OP edits the post and they say, okay, I'm a stupid bitch for not including this, but no, this isn't the first thing he said about me being gay. I've been getting some shit for the table comment, in part because my awful writing skills made it sound like I immediately escalated the situation without any prior conflict or issues. That's not the case. I just want to clear some things up so I don't have to do it in the comments. Brother-in-law has made several, many homophobic comments about me and my boyfriend over the past couple of years. Some of them were behind my back and later relayed to me by my other family members. Some of them were directly to me, but the point is, this isn't a one-off. I don't want to justify my obviously rude comment, but this is kind of an ongoing thing. No, he isn't speaking for someone else. He himself is upset about my boyfriend being here, and he's the only one, as far as I know, that's uncomfortable. This post is about him and him alone. I don't know if it was totally clear, because at least one person has seemed to have gotten this mixed up, but that comment was just to him. Nobody else was there. I might be rude as fuck, but I'm not crude enough to say that in front of everyone else. I hope this clears things up a little more. I should have been more upfront from the beginning. So in the comments, someone said to OP, have you ever flat out told him that what he says is homophobic? OP says, not flat out no. Occasionally he'll be an arsehole to my poor boyfriend who hasn't done shit to upset anyone. In that case, I'll tell him to chill the fuck out and leave him alone. If he's being like that to me, however, I'll basically tell him to lay off. I never said anything along the lines of your comment to him, but I know other people have. Someone says, is your sister also homophobic? OP says, I've been so scared of starting shit that I haven't really talked to her at all about it. That's a good question though, of whether she's homophobic. Not really, but she also doesn't really defend me when her husband goes after me. However, between her and my brother, he would take someone out for me, while she just vaguely chastises her husband every once in a while if he takes it too far. So I guess you could say not directly, but she doesn't go out of her way to stop it. Someone says it sounds like your sister is because she's not sticking up for you, and it will only get worse. Opie says, nah, you're right. I do want to marry him, and I definitely don't want that energy. Of course, he wouldn't be invited, but I totally get your point about it getting worse. It's honestly pretty sad that it took me until your comment to even think about my sister potentially and probably being homophobic. The putting on a show thing makes a lot of sense, especially when you make that racism comparison. Thank you so much, both for your support and really putting this into perspective for me. It's late as fuck and I'm falling asleep right now, but I have that conversation tomorrow and post an update on how it goes. I don't have a great feeling about it, but I agree that I can't keep putting it off. And one more question to OP, who says, why would you even want to have a relationship with this guy? OP says, all my attempts at any sort of relationship are for the benefit of my sister. Everyone hates my brother-in-law, none more than my brother. So I was trying to give her one last chance to be like, oh, my little brother and husband are getting along, how fucking sweet, or whatever the fuck. Obviously that's not the case, and now I'm pissed at her because I realize that she's been condoning this all along. They defend me, but he keeps doing it and she keeps bringing him. Nobody, including me, really knows what to do anymore, but I'm going to try to figure that out today. If either of my nephews ends up being queer, I'm going to fucking rescue them. Trust me, don't worry about that because I already have. And a couple more comments, one from Archaean who says, not the arsehole. That table fucking comment was hilarious and may have been a little out of pocket, but you definitely aren't responsible for your brother-in-law being uncomfortable with your relationship. And you are not forcing your relationship in his face. It doesn't even matter how long you and your boyfriend have been together. If you care about him enough, want to include him in family trips, then you have that right. So long as he isn't an arsehole ruining everyone's time, which he clearly isn't, and you all aren't actually fucking on tables, lol, then there's no problem. If your brother-in-law cares so much about family, then he should know that you having a boyfriend comes with that territory, and he should get used to it sooner rather than later. And one more comment from Vixen Noir who says, not the arsehole. You're right that the comment was a little extreme, but that's assuming this conversation is the only time he's been rude about your sexuality/partner. If he's made a habit of making comments around you, then he might have deserved it. Based only on this conversation though, it seemed like a drastic escalation. However, he had no right to comment on who you bring home with you in the first place. After 3 years, your partner is probably in the practically family group anyway, unless you only just started bringing him around. But even if this was your first time bringing him, you checked with your mum first, and her opinion was the only one that mattered since she was the one you were going to visit. Tell brother-in-law to keep his comments to himself and tell your sister that her husband needs to learn to respect your partner, or he can be the one to stay at home from family gatherings. That has had me thinking back to the first paragraph where it says about how much the mum knows about what's been going on. Does she know about these comments? Because it said that mum adores him and vice versa. I was wondering why she hasn't stepped in yet. But simply, sod that homophobic brother-in-law. You don't need to talk to him. You don't need to have contact with him. He doesn't respect you. He doesn't respect your partner. You know, don't waste any further time on this arsehole. But OP does update the post the next day and says, as some of you suggested, I got everyone together and had a family meeting thing. Basically, I restarted the conversation from last night and asked anyone else had an issue with my boyfriend being there. Here are some highlights. My mum started dying laughing when she heard the table comment and had to leave the room. But when she came back, she was pissed as fuck at my brother-in-law, and even more so at my sister. She and my brother both told off my sister and brother-in-law, saying that he's disgusting, she's disgusting for going along with it. How could you treat someone this way? What did they, me and my boyfriend, ever do to you, etc.? I didn't even have to make a point that he's technically not family either because my brother made it for me. Love him. Lots of arguing. Brother-in-law saying he can't help being uncomfortable. My sister defending him. On and on. My mum kicked them out of the house. Woohoo! She said that until they could learn to treat my boyfriend and I right, they will no longer be allowed in our home. Fuck yeah. Call me petty, but when I got up from the table, I did sort of bend over it like a couple of people have told me to. It was really subtle, but deliberate, and Christ almighty did my brother-in-law get pissed. Anyway, it all went pretty well, I'd say. My sister has been texting my mum, brother and I, calling us various names and threatening us in all caps. But that can be dealt with. Thanks so much to everyone for their support. I appreciate all of you. Well, there you go. Good on mum for getting involved in the situation and kicking that asshole out. But now, I'm going to turn this one to you guys. What do you guys make of this situation? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Now, just a huge thank you from the bottom of my heart for getting involved in today's stories. Your love, your support, your time always means the absolute world to me. So thank you so much for being involved. You're absolutely incredible. And hopefully, I will see you in the next one. Take care and much love.